It certainly doesn't take any artistic ability to simply put a record on the turntable. But those of us who are pushing our musical ability to the limits by this simple act still can enjoy the results. Most of our music comes from records or tapes, or discs, or the radio. That's the most common source. But there's really something special when you're the one actually making the music yourself.
What else is there? I've always been a musician. I can't imagine not being involved with music in some way. In my music area here, I get to do a lot of things. And so I'm not just the symphony conductor. We're in a big city, the symphony conductor is the symphony conductor. I get to do the opera. I get to lead and play in a big band. You know, how many symphony conductors are playing in big bands today? I enjoy this variety. And so it's not like being, it's all music, but it's not like being narrowed down to one area.
Mel Flood came to Juneau from San Diego, where he worked as a freelance musician, substituting with the symphony, playing in a 9-piece band, and other odd jobs. In 1982, Mel became the conductor of the Juneau Symphony, and he says it's working with community musicians that makes his job interesting.
The people who are here play well, and the ones who play with us have a good spirit, and everybody works together, and it's very enjoyable doing that. As a matter of fact, more enjoyable, I think, than some professional operations where you're dealing with contracts for all the musicians, and they get really wrapped up into negotiations instead of the community spirit of working together. And I've had a number of conductors, colleagues of mine, who are involved with professional orchestras say that many times they wish they were in situations like mine, where they didn't have to worry about all these things. They could just get out there and make music. There's no way that I could sit down in a chair before a concert and just sit there glued in one spot. I have to be moving. Nervous energy. And it's just kind of comforting to look around and see everybody that, you know, that they're there, and getting themselves psyched up and warmed up on their instruments, ready to go. At that point, I figure that I'm prepared. I'm ready to go out there, and it's just a matter of waiting for the time, waiting for the curtain to go up. Many times I would rather hear a performance that had a few minor technical flaws. Maybe a missed note here, you know, or something. Well, you don't like to hear that. But I would rather hear a performance, and I think this is my own playing too, I would rather do a performance that had a minor technical flaw, but I played with spirit, than one that I was so in control that nothing musically happened.
Mel likes the musical opportunities in Southeast. One such opportunity came about because of a fundraiser for the University of Alaska Southeast. For the formal dance at the annual event, Mel put together a big band. It was so successful that the band still gives a number of performances every year.
And I think that there's a nostalgia craze all over the United States, and big bands are coming back. It's nice here in Juneau to be able to do it in a community atmosphere. And that's what makes it more successful here, where it would be very difficult to maintain a big band in a large city where you need to pay the musicians living wages.
Like the Juneau Symphony, Mel Flood's big band is made up of community volunteers. In fact, half of the band also plays in the symphony. For them, it's playing music with a different beat.
It is an adjustment, and when new players come to the dance band from symphony and they haven't had dance band experience, they come in with a classical training and play the rhythms that are notated in the dance band in the classical style. And so a teaching process goes on. And as well, what do you do here? How do you play swing, you know, instead of Mozart? You know, and this is what I tell them when somebody plays at 2 square. I says, that's Mozart. That's Tuesday nights. This is Thursday night. Tonight we swing. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just an awful lot of fun. The music is great. I've always loved the music of the big bands. I always thought that I had been born too late in life. that I should have been born a few years earlier, where I could have played the big bands in the 40s and the 30s. But I just grew up hearing them on records. And so it was just really a great opportunity when we had a chance to start one here and doing it. It's almost like a hobby. It's part of the job, but it's one of those things that's so totally different from doing the symphony or the opera and whatever. There's, just go out and relax and have a good time with it, and I don't pace nearly as much. I wouldn't want to have an existence where I couldn't play or conduct in a symphony, where I couldn't involve myself with opera, where I couldn't involve myself with the popular end, with the big band, where I would have to be narrowed down and just do one, or perhaps more repertoire, but in one area only. I like the variety.